Hello, my name's Tom. I'm from Haggard Cat.
I'm Matt. I'm also from the band Haggard Cat.
And you're listening to Rhino Radio.
That's a rhino.
So I have the honor of being reunited.
Yay!
It took us a few years because I think the first time was with Matt, and then with Tom, and then with John McClane, and now and now with both.
John McClane.
Yes, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So I'm reunited with Haggard Cat. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, very good. Thank
Very
you.
good. Yeah. Day 2.
Day 2,
Tour
yeah, of the
day two.
tour.
DOS
yeah.
2.
We're still
Sorry.
fresh.
And you guys are going a crazy tour. You got the Virgin Marys, you got Helvana,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
and today Jamie Lenman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys are mixing it up one tour, but you got so many friends.
We are indeed. Well,
Go ahead.
the Virgin Mary's tour is in December.
But you got a few days, yeah, it's kind of merged.
So it's
into
kind of
one.
like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
We finished the London date of the Lenman tour on the 30th of November. Then we've got a week or two, I think, off, and then straight on to Virgin Mary's after that. Which is going to be kind of little sweatbox venues. Which is
Yeah,
gonna be
don't get
awesome.
too comfortable, and we'll talk about you being not comfortable.
Okay.
I don't know how it even started because bands are complaining about being stuck in a van for too long, and you guys thought that the van is too comfortable. You got stuck in some sort of a tomb.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, we did
And
that.
I think you even added a lion. Was that a lion?
There was talk of there being a lion at some point, but eventually health and safety prevailed. No lion.
No lion.
Okay, so explain that. Are you trying to be the new Pharaohs? What's going on with that?
We were basically trying to be new pharaohs, yeah.
I like the idea of like it being quite an Egyptian tomb. That's
Yeah,
quite.
it should have been a pyramid, really. Thinking about it.
They
now.
were buried with their cats as well.
Yeah, well, that's fine. We are two cats, basically.
So
Cats
what was
were like
that?
the,
Was something with Brexit, so please explain that to me.
So we initially came up with the idea in very simple in nature that we wanted to release the next single. I'm going in depth. I'm going to go in depth. The next single, one of the main lines in the single in the chorus is about building a wall. So we were like, how on the nose do we want to do this video? Like, how literal do we want to be do we want to be building a wall, or do we want to be doing a metaphor, or do we want to be doing nothing else or just do a performance video? And we were like, oh, we should build a wall, and we came up with an idea which just turned into something else, really.
It kind of snowballed, and then it took on a life of its own, and the song itself is kind of like echoing of what's happening politically at the minute and what has happened for the last 3 years. Like, especially since we've been a band, like it seems every time we go into the studio, something else ridiculous happens that you never expected that makes no sense at all, and it just seems to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's kind of what the song was about. And the song's kind of like an ironic kind of parody of what's going on politically. So it kind of made sense for us to link that in with the video as well. So rather than just building a wall, it's like, well, once the UK, if things go the way that the government is planning for it to go at the minute, and we leave the EU, I hope we don't, but if we do, then we're just basically cutting ourselves off from the rest of the world. So that's kind of what the video did. It kind of, the idea was to debilitate ourselves and make ourselves uncomfortable in the same way that I imagine that is going to when it happens. Because we were reading things about it as well, and it's especially it's going to affect everybody. Like 99% of people in the UK it's going to affect badly. It's not really going to help anybody. But from our point of view, selfishly, the UK touring industry, we're then going to get slapped with all kinds of charges to get out there and to actually play in Europe, and that's one of the most important things to a DIY band is playing out there, because once you've covered the UK, like, you can't really continue. Like, you need somewhere else to go. To broaden your fan base and to make being in a band viable. So essentially, in one fell swoop, the idea of stopping that happening and putting a wall up between the UK and the rest of the world means that's just not an option anymore unless we find other ways of doing it. So yeah, we're dead against it. And I thought the more people in the public that kind of do things that are out of the expected and these kind of weird protests, like it may seem like a silly thing, but the weirder and the less predictable the public become, the more effect we all start to have. And that's kind of what happened to the video then, is it took on that mantra, and then we ended up in a box for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But at least when we do release kind of this song with a video to it, you know we did it. There's authenticity to this video. We actually fucking did it.
Yeah.
So to some extent, some parts of it were difficult to watch. How was it to actually experience that? 24 hours, just the two of you inside a really small box. It felt very uncomfortable. But you being you, I feel like you came up with some jewels out of it.
Yeah, it was actually like
there was a song.
I can't remember. Like friends of ours were just saying, "You said that," and we were like, "Can't remember that."
It was so strange. Like I watched, because you could go back. I think you can still go onto the Twitch now and watch 24 hours of it. If you wanted to do that, you can. And I went back so I didn't go straight to bed after we got out. I went home and was like, let's have a little look. Went to work because I hate myself apparently, and that's what I do. But yeah, I looked back, and it's so strange because I can't remember it being like that, and all the audio and everything was so clear, and it picked up absolutely everything. And I was like, oh God, what have we said?
What did I say?
But when we were there and then and experiencing it, it was just boredom that became positive.
It is, yeah. It kills you.
Because you're there with, your best friend. Like it could have been worse, and they could have put us in with someone we didn't like. That was a question people kept asking us: who would you least like to get put in the box with?
Put in the box with, yeah. I think one of them was a lion. I know it's not a person.
For the next
pretty
album.
Basic, but yeah.
That's when
next album, the next marketing ploy is in a box with a lion.
Us two in a cage with a lion, survive.
Deal with it. But it's surprising how crazy you go very quickly. Within an hour, we were like,
Just
"How long's it been? What's I like?" It's weird. It's weird. It's funny. If anything, it's just a weird thing that I've done in my life.
The worst part of it was the 3 hours that we spent in the studio watching the wall get built, panicking about it. Worrying about it,
that was the worst.
And not knowing what was going to happen, and not knowing how it was going to feel and how we were going to deal with it, and if one of us was going to have, I don't know, like a claustrophobic kind of panic attack or something.
It was that strange though, because it just happened. It was like we were stood up pacing around these builders building this wall, and then they all just went, "You can get in then." And we were like, "Okay, is it time?" They were like, "Yeah."
We were actually
in for
longer than 24 hours.
We just sat in and just, we were in there for about 24 hours and 40 minutes or something.
While they built the rest of the wall around us and sealed us in.
Anyway, yeah, we did that, yeah.
Okay, it was fun.
To promote a single.
Gonna do it again.
To promote our ideas, and also to have something that works along with this great song that I can't wait to actually... We're going to play it tonight, actually.
Yeah.
We played it at 2003, so I think you've already heard it.
It's called European Hardware.
European Hardware. It's very on the nose about what the whole thing's about.
Yeah.
It doesn't skip around any subjects. It's just like, this is a song about us leaving the European Union and we don't like it. That's how non-metaphorical we've become.
Also the name of the upcoming album.
Yeah.
Okay, Common Sense Holiday. Okay. Are you guys actually going into politics? Is that going to be the new thing?
It's not so much the new thing. I think everybody who's in a band and our age and makes kind of, any music really probably has some of their songs are they're gonna be about political issues because they are. Just because you're around it all the time, whether or not you're a political person, like you kind of can't avoid what's happening in a way. Like even if you just sit on the fence a bit, you still know what's going on. So like that's gonna seep through, and they say all the best music comes out from like, especially punk music comes out of like angry times and and all that stuff, because everybody's got a voice. But we've always had, like Matt's always written stuff about, but they've always never kind of been as on the nose. You know,
I think as times get kind of more and more drastic, and it's very much the topic that's on absolutely everybody's lips, it starts to become more obvious that things are going to be political.
Yeah.
We're very careful not to kind of present ourselves as a political band, because we don't see ourselves as like deeply like.
No, we're not like
political
activists
people.
or anything like that, but we still have an opinion. Do you know what I mean?
I think you'd have to kind of be numb to the world around you to make an art form, be it making music or painting or anything along those lines, and not to comment on what's happening around us, because it's so ingrained now, and it's such a big thing about all of our lives.
I think
it's impossible.
I think as well, it's more like it's confidence. Like, because we've never like, the older you get, the more sure of yourself you are, and the more kind of like, well, some people are more.
As a kid, it's sometimes being false.
Yeah. Well, not so much false, but you have a maybe a lesser understanding of what's happening, and when you actually get it, and you're like, no, that is crap. And then you're gonna, sing about it, and you're gonna write about it, and then it will paint about it, or do something about it. Do you know what I mean? And you're older, you're less more likely to. So if someone comes up to you, challenges you, when you were younger, you were like, oh, I don't know. But now, if someone came up to you and challenged you, you're more confident to have a voice,
like,
really.
You're angry enough about it to actually react.
Yeah.
I think you've touched on it before, just a few seconds ago, and when I listened to First Words, I felt like there's some sort of a said ending. So you guys a bit optimistic, or what do you think is going to happen with all those politics happening around us? There's another election in just under 2 months. Brexit, we're not really sure.
The thing is, it's one of those things that's like, I think, especially in our specific, in our little worlds, is it, whatever happens, we're going to have to make it work. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's an easier way and a harder way, and it's like, we'll make whichever one work. Whatever happens, you have to make it work. It'll work.
We're
it's whether it's
very strong, determined people.
It's whether it's going to be easier path or a harder path.
So there is kind of a lot of an overtone of not just kind of throwing your arms up in the air and kind of giving up. It's more we hate this, but how are we going to deal with it? What are we going to do? And there is something we can do.
So are you postponing planning any European tours at the moment because you're not sure what's going to happen?
No.
We're very much planning the tours, and we're going to do them come hell or high water.
I think that's the thing. I don't think anyone should stop what they're going to do. I don't think even if people going on holiday or travelling to Europe if Brexit happens on, is it January 31st, is it? February 1st or February or whatever. If it actually happens and we've got a tour booked in Europe, just get on with it. We'll have to see what it, there'll be different steps, it'll be harder probably to cross, and there'll be checks, and there'll be more vigilant, and we might need to pay certain, licenses and things like that, and we'll have to just make it work. But there's you don't know, our generation doesn't really know what it was like before we were not being a part of the EU, so it's all kind of new for us going over there, especially in a band as well.
I think the real heartbreaking thing is, obviously me and Tom are a little bit more established now. We've been doing this in different bands for a long time, so it's not, we don't see any obstacle ever stopping us. But the real heartbreaking thing is, it's the younger bands that are just kind of starting out now that will just be put off entirely, and then that'll be our music scene that just is strangled and starved, potentially.
So you kind of want to go out almost and prove it's possible.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll document our first European tour,
like
after Brexit.
A step-by-step guide.
Step-by-step guide of what happens. I'll hold you to that. We'll make a mini documentary about
Haggard
what
Cat
it's like.
Step-by-step guide to getting to France.
These are amazing. You shouldn't have bought these.
Glad I could assist, and I'm going to take you off that serious topic. Obviously, it's affecting us, but something I really want to know is, you guys are notorious for your weird games that you're playing either on tour and even while in a box. So are there any new games?
Oh God.
I do my research. I remember there was something with a tea bag a ball or something
Slapbag.
like that.
Slapbag.
Yes.
Slapbag.
I remember that, and I'm guessing there's something new. I think the last time we talked about it was about a year ago. So I'm guessing you came up with something new. Being stuck in a tomb for 24 hours probably brought a new game.
We had a real good game.
Yeah, it was really good
course you
actually. We did the animal game.
The animal
where
game.
You say you.
You don't even, it doesn't get said.
It doesn't get said, at all, and you draw an animal in 10 seconds
From
memory,
Okay.
and then you show it to your opponent, and they have to guess what the animal is. Simple, but they have one guess. If they get it wrong,
Just move on.
move on. Nobody,
find
you
out.
don't find out, and it's a mystery, and
It's
you carry
amazing
on.
how hard it is to draw anything.
Yeah, in 10 seconds. You try and draw a kangaroo in 10 seconds.
Oh,
Yes.
that kangaroo is.
Look like a turning.
So there's a rumor online. I got two today. Okay, the first one is you guys are promoting the album, or regardless of the album, you're coming out with some sort of a Haggard Cat board game. Is that true?
What?
Well, no. Well, actually,
Heartbreaking.
no. I think the Haggard Cat board game. It could be like a game of life, kind of rip off.
It'll be a Brexit wall.
It could be a Brexit monopoly where you just sell everything.
Actually, Haggard Cat Monopoly, and then the jail is the brick tomb.
And there's a lion.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm paying to see that.
Yeah.
That's on the merch table this time next year, once the album's out.
Okay, and I'll confront you with the second rumor. Okay, for the launch show, Bruce Willis is coming, aka John McClane. Is that happening?
Correct,
I
yes,
hear
he's coming.
He's
Walter,
a big fan now.
Walter Bruce Willis is arriving. He will be there at Rescue Rooms playing the harmonica.
He does actually guest on the new album playing harmonica.
Okay, so I was about to ask you about any collaborations. I know that Jamie is on one of the tracks on First Words, and we said that Common Sense Holiday is coming out March 13th.
March 13th?
Yeah.
Indeed.
What else do we need to know about it? Are there more collaborations? What are the must-know of the album?
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of other musicians on there. The idea, like our kind of blueprint when we got to like writing the album, before we stepped into the studio, was that we wanted to kind of make this like kind of explorative, really kind of deep sounding record that kind of didn't fulfill the rules of being in a two-piece band. So what we wanted to assemble like a different band almost for every track. That was kind of the rough idea and blueprint.
Yeah.
And so what we ended up doing was hitting up a lot of kind of friends and being like, do you fancy being on this track? Do you fancy being on this track? So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff on there. I won't tell you all of it because I want a lot of it to be a surprise, because I think there's a lot of real exciting stuff that's going to get revealed over time. But we saw it as a very much a collaborative effort, especially by the time we got to the end of it. It was
Yeah.
like, what is this that we've made? This is
Yeah,
something
You
completely
still look a
new.
bit confused about
No, I was just thinking about it. Like, it's something. In fact, Jamie said to us, it's never something that. It's something that kind of like I guess everyone's aware of, but it was never something that I was so consciously aware of. That Jamie actually said to us when he first took us out on tour was that two pieces have a sound, and it's like. You want to be like, nah, we sound different, but it's like they do. Like, it's drums and a guitar, it has a sound. It's very natural to just play a riff and play a beat and be like, dun and rock, and it's very kind of, it's very simple in nature how to do that. And there are a lot of two-piece bands that do sound quite similar, and you kind of, but that's what we wanted to kind of break. We want people to listen to it and go, and not think that's a two-piece band.
But is it not more difficult to now recreate it on stage?
Well, yes and no, because we wanted to create something that was on a record and an album as a piece of art, as a thing, and then we try and replicate that to as much capacity as we want on stage, in a live, organic way.
And that's where Bruce Willis comes in.
And that's where Bruce Willis, we hit up his press agent, and they were like, we know he plays harmonica, and he said yes, we sent him the track, he did a bit over it, blah, blah, blah. The rest is history.
Okay, and if people that are watching us right now don't know that you guys are addicted to Die Hard, then they're a bit confused, but that's the explanation to all those.
It's the
negative
greatest
comments.
film.
It's the greatest film ever
The
made.
greatest film.
Okay, before we say goodbye, is there anything else that you want to say to fans and listeners out there?
Well, we're going on tour in December with the Virgin Marys. Can't remember the dates. But then we'll
It starts on the... I want to say 12th of December.
it's mid-December. We're going on a stint with them. And then next year, we're going on a big tour and we're going to play everywhere.
We're absolutely everywhere in the UK. As many places as we can hit in Europe as well. We're going to basically be out there for 2 months. Out of our houses for 2 months, playing absolutely anywhere that will have us playing Concert Holiday and the hits.
The hits
as
and
well.
We've got a big hometown show, which is our biggest gig ever, which is at Rescue Rooms, headline show in Nottingham.
And I assume you're going to be back at 2000 Trees? That's like your home
Oh, God, I hope so.
We all have to beg the 2000 Trees team to let us come back because we need to play 2000 Trees again.
It's so
the best
good.
Festival.
It's a lot of fun, and you guys are taking over all the gazebos over there, just playing on top of them, pints as well.
That should be the plan this year. We should aim to play as many times as we want to break records for how many times people at 2000 Trees have ever played.
Hey, Haggard Cat running for Parliament this year, smashing eardrums and dying hard. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.